Hey, did you watch? This just came to me. Oh God, I'm gonna forget what it's called, but it's a documentary about American gladiators that
I
just
I
went up.
didn't I didn't I didn't see the Netflix one, but I saw the 30 for 30.
No, there's a Netflix, like a
I know the
multi
30 for
episode.
30 is pretty damn good because it goes more into the guy that created it, the guy that was the Elvis impersonator.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes more into him. I was gonna watch the one that was on Netflix, but when it started, um, it was kind of covering stuff I had already seen. So I went into Black Mirror.
Hmm.
Have you seen any of the Black Mirror?
No, it's an anthology series, right? It's
Right.
yeah.
So I started.
Look, Wes just got a boner again.
Yeah.
God, you
I
guys with your
so I watched. So the first one is called Awful. What's her name? Awful Olivia or whatever it is. It's got Selma Hayek. Awful Joan. So the first one's Awful Joan. Smart. It's just really smart. And it's there's a catch where she goes to her lawyer and she asks how is this possible, and the lawyer explains how it happens. And I'm not going to give it away because it's just like it's what we all do with our lives. And then the second one is this young kid with a young white dude that is in Scotland, and he has a young black girlfriend that's American, and they do indie films, and they go into this town. And it's this barren town, and she's walking around. She's like, "God, it's so beautiful here." And he says, "Well, there was this murder, this murderer here." And they go into this whole thing, and it has a bunch of twists and turns. That goes, but just berserk sideways. And then I said, you know what? Let me just watch this last one. And the last one was my favorite. It's it's these two astronauts, and they go in and out of like I don't want to. I just want to say, but the third one of the three that I watched, the third one was I just thought was yeah, Beyond the Sea is the name of it. It's got the cat from Breaking Bad's in it.
oh.
It's Aaron Paul and Josh Harnett are the two astronauts,
So this is the
and
most recent season of this you're talking about?
this is season 6 that I watched,
Okay.
thinking that I was watching season 1. Then I went back and watched episode 1, season 1, and that the basic premise of that is they kidnap the princess of England, and the prime minister has to have intercourse with a pig on closed circuit television, and which he does. And
Average night on the road, I would think,
yeah,
in
and
the 90s.
it's kind of weird though because it doesn't come across the same in that British accent when he says you know do the arch, do the arch.
Much better in Iranian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's much better with a Persian undertone. Yeah, so
Excellent.
but
Well, okay, I'll see if I can do it. I would
yeah,
I would give that a
so
chance. You may know
Glad,
the story of
at
Gladiators, but
least watch the awful whatever her name was. Awful,
Joan.
yeah, Awful Joe.
All
Watch
right.
that one.
I'll see
And
Awful
just
Joan later.
because it's nice to watch something that's smart. It's kind of it almost has a Twilight Zone kind of a feel to it, but I don't know. I don't know.
I'm a fan,
I
so
was
if they
yeah,
do that well,
I was just really because I had heard so much about it, and it's like I just finished Suits, and that was I felt like I got to Everest, to the top of Everest when he knocks on 206 and she opens the door and everything's good. So
You got through, was it 47 seasons of that? What was that?
8 seasons, 13 or
Oof.
16, 13 to 16. It was like 135 episodes. Did it in I think 11 days.
Got to be a record of
And
some
it's
sort.
like 48 minutes an episode. So
So
you
were
you
you a
got
fan? Uh-huh. Were
you
you?
got to put time. I mean, you basically got to put 8 hours in a day.
Yeah. Not happening.
So it's go to the gym and
Then you're
sit
in. You're starting right away. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's dinner and then Suits.
suits.
Right.
And then usually I'd be like Tamara and I watch a couple, we'll watch some news. We usually watch
Did she get hit with any of the Suits shrapnel, or she avoided it completely?
oh no, she sat through a few and I told her I said this isn't, it's not Sorkin where I said you can pretty much plop in and have somebody kind of just feed you. Yeah, and I think there's a drastic drop after season 6. It's not.
Oh,
It was time for it to end.
all right. Yeah, it
You know,
happens.
it was time for it to end.
Were you a fan of the horror sci-fi anthology, like the either Twilight Zone or what was the other one? Outer Limits. That was the other black and white one back in the
I like the Outer Limits. Yeah,
Tales from the Crypt. That was
for
in
the
the
next 30
'80s.
seconds, we will take control of your
That's right.
television. We'll
That's
the
right.
horizontal and yeah. You're welcome to the Outer
The
Limits.
one I loved, just because of the eeriness of the opening, was this one called Tales from the Dark Side. It was in syndication. It used to come on like Saturday nights, like 7 o'clock or something like that by me. And the opening, the music and the voiceover was so creepy. Steve, give me a little Tales from the Dark Side open, will you? I can't remember if the stories were, because I was a kid, so I guess everything was.
One that I used to like was Darren McGavin was on a show called The
Night
Night Stalker.
Stalker,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh, that was I was probably oh man, I was probably in middle school when that came on.
Yeah.
And those are creepy. Those
Darren
are creepy.
McGavin, who won
My
on.
wife and I just watched that the 2-part episode on the Night Stalker on Netflix.
Oh, there it is. Oh. Here it comes.
Man lives in the sunlit world of what he believes to be reality. But there is, unseen by most, an underworld, a place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.
Tremendous.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Phenomenal. Brandon Granger, what are 5 essential classic movies someone needs to watch in their lifetime? Oof.
I don't know.
Crimes and Misdemeanors, Raging Bull,
Lawrence of Arabia. Saw 1.
Pope Greenwich Village. They took my thumb, Charlie.
That's what made Eric Roberts just start doing everything. When he didn't get the Oscar for that, he just said, "You know what? Fuck it."
You need me, I'm there.
Yep, exactly.
I'll
Mariah
be in it.
Carey, you got a video? I'm there.
Wesley votes for Barbarian, by the way. I still have to see that. Let's see. Let's go to the our sent in questions.